Our next guest is no stranger to local television, and he's here to talk about an event that he is, I would say that you are passionate about this topic, and not only this topic, but other topics in the community that you have gravitated to and have taken on a more or less what do you call those, news hounds?
Insane.
Insane. Okay. What's the fascination with covering local events in depth and under a microscope?
Well, one of the things, Dan, and it's good to be back in here. It's like, 9 years later, I'm sitting on this set. I never sat on this set before.
Was it the same set? We
probably
need to update.
Yeah, I think Woody's new. But in all seriousness, when it comes to broadcasting as a whole, and then when you and I first met back in 2008, nothing's changed for me when it comes to my conviction. And the purpose of broadcasting is to inform and entertain. Those are the two. You get those two right, and you're doing good. And hence why shows like this are so incredibly important. And boy, I'm speckled right there. I just now saw that. Thanks, honey. Alicia dresses me, and it works out well.
You'll know that he's scatterbrained to a
certain
degree.
Very. When it comes to the local coverage, though, it's so difficult because as we watched inside of this industry, inside of this business, social media, the internet as a whole has changed the game when it comes to distribution, because now everybody and their brother can be a broadcaster. However, not everybody knows how to do it. But as such, we find ourselves in television and radio and print that we all, we've watched our staff shrink because ad revenue spread. It's just the nature of the beast. It's the paradigm. So how do you stay alive inside of this? How do you cover everything? How do you remain relevant inside of each particular entity? And so for me, over all these years now, you figure I started in radio back in '89. And it just evolved as we went, and then television came along 2008, and because I was scared of television, I never wanted to do it. I wanted to do stuff with film, but I didn't want to do TV because TV is scary. But it is, and then the web come along and really change things up, and then digital television and all these things, and but that internal burn to continue to tell the stories that needed to be told and try to be everywhere. So then you got to kind of figure out, where do you draw your lines? Where can you focus? Because like the newspaper, definitely big props to Lee Dunlap there. There's nobody with a camera who can be everywhere that you wouldn't expect someone to be, but Lee's always there.
But he works.
Oh man, he's hustling. And that's the thing. People don't realize that in a selfie generation where everybody's got a mini production studio in their pocket, everybody's popping pictures all the time, but to get the real stuff, you still got to put the effort in. And that applies again to radio and television. And I'm not going to throw any stones at anyone right now.
Sure, it's just the way it is.
But yeah, so everybody's thin and everything else. So I try to maximize to specific things that are of broader interest. Now, mind you, if things happen on a smaller scale, if you've got something going on, I don't know, anything, doesn't really matter, like Matt's Fire in the Sky, then let us know, because I guarantee you, to any and everybody out there, if you have an event that you're wanting to get promoted, you've got a lot of outlets right here in Harrison, Arkansas, and also in Mountain Home, that you can get your word out, but you got to let us know. It's a communication thing, because otherwise we can't.
What I have found in what we do and what other people are doing, and Facebook and the whole thing, is now that everything is fragmented more. There's not 3 entities, there's 16 entities to do your promotion or to get your message out. And you have to be more diligent to get it to all of those entities. And people say, well, I've got 1,000 friends on Facebook, I'll just post it out there. But then you limit yourself to who you get the message out to.
Exactly.
So it's a bittersweet thing, and you can't be everything to everybody.
And everyone can't look everywhere.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. I know a few years back when Alicia and I moved forward with the This Is Harrison thing that we were doing, and just trying to find the good news, because one of the things, and it relates to this as well, that drives me nuts around this region is people love to always chase the ambulances, gravitate to the negative, when there's too much other great stuff going on that completely outweighs that. But those stories normally fall through the cracks, or they don't have enough juice or traction. But then again, we've got distribution outlets by way of the webs but how do you get people to see? So on and so on. But the stories still need to be told, and I know personally, I just never quit learning. That's the key. Never quit learning. No matter what you do, keep learning, kids. But that's the thing. You keep learning and applying and doing that thing you do in those mediums. And at this point, I feel that when those stories come to me, and they're brought to me, or I stumble across them, like with Gary, you go with it and see what happens, and put it out there. Because if you've seen the movie The Social Network, about Facebook and everything, my favorite line probably of all time, well, of the 21st century for sure, comes with, "The internet is written in ink." And with that said, it's not just because of the negative connotation that went to first. The fact is, when you tell the story, it's automatically timeless, but then it's there forever. Can you imagine if we lived, if this type of technology would have been available in the early days of radio and television, the things that could have been captured, saved, and preserved?
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Yeah, because now everything is.
Everything
It's
is.
all there.
Yeah.
And so when we get the opportunity to tell stories such as Gary Howard's, it's amazing. It really is, because not to go too far ahead of myself right here, but Gary's not going to be on this planet much longer. I'm no psychic and I'm not God, but I can tell you, boy, he's getting close. And with that said, though, this man's mission, and I'm very appreciative of being a part of this capturing and telling, because otherwise it would have just faded away. And that would be unfortunate, because in Gary's mission, let's get that started there.
Segue on to Gary,
Yeah, when it comes to Gary and what's happened, last Monday, the 19th, I was driving to work, and and pardon me if I seem offensive in my humor in this, but if you know me, you'll understand why. I was driving to work, and I see a wheelchair, I see a guy, I see a sign, I see the words "tortured" and VA. And I'm thinking, oh, we got us a Monday morning crackpot in Harrison, Arkansas. So I kept going, but then something said turn around. I said, okay. I was running late Monday, too. I really was. I was absolutely running late, and I don't like running late. Hate running late. I was running late, but I was like, you know what? All right, fine. So I turn around, I go over, and I talk to Gary. I had a camera on me, and I found out, no, not crazy. Not a kook, and completely legitimate human being. So I figured, you know what? Let's tell this guy's story. But now when it comes to reporting the news, another thing I like to put out there for all the world to see and understand, when it comes to the news, the way the news works, I can get it right here, Ian. The way the news works is it's the words that come out of someone's mouth, not an interpretation after the fact. And I've always made it a point to do that in any of the things that I put out there, the reporting or anything. And with Gary, I put the camera on him and I let him roll. I had no idea what was going to fall out of his mouth. But I did know that at the end of it all, I was going to take just that raw footage and put it out there for the world to interpret on their own. And so, voila, I did. And in doing that and watching it again myself, there were some really big triggers that fired for me that really showed me this guy was on the level. Because his initial story, you're like, man, boy, he's mad, he's passionate, what is he? But there was no hate in his voice. And he also wasn't asking for anything. That's a big deal. Because in a lot of these situations and some things that get brought up in various circles is saying that, well, this guy is just doing it for attention. This guy is looking to raise some money. This guy is wanting to make some money. No, he wasn't.
Or he hates somebody.
Or he hates somebody. And in this instance, there's not one stitch of that. The one thing he does, if you could use the word hate in Gary's story, is the bureaucracy that has hurt so many veterans. And that's where it all came, because his initial stance was because his records, Gary has lung cancer and prostate cancer. That was prior to this demonstration that he's put on. He had all kinds of issues trying to get just his records on his prostate released. Okay, and he was having problems with that. There's actually conversations that he's got recorded that I'll be putting up on the Facebook page, Gary's Stand. We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, he recorded those conversations with some of the VA officials, not the healthcare workers and the people running the clinics. I want to draw that line, because those people go above and beyond to help everyone.
They're doing their.
They do.
They're there to care.
Exactly, and they do, and that's the thing. Again, I can go on and on about that. It's just what I've seen firsthand with Gary. But anyway, that's going to be up there on the Facebook page soon. But he had that problem. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, for those people that don't have Facebook, this is all new to them, and I want to let people take a breath, and let's come back and let's show today's video.
Yeah.
So let's take a short break, because this segment has gone a little long. We'll take a quick break, come back, and we'll continue the story. Stay with us.